Palworld escaped early access, reached version 1.0, and immediately developed the corporate equivalent of a suspicious rash. Second, Garena announced Palworld Online for iOS and Android with a seamless world, creature collecting, shared settlements, crafting, settlement defense, bosses, PvP, and cooperative progression. Third, the announcement revealed nearly everything, except how this magnificent digital animal factory intends to make money. Great. Nothing inspires confidence like a mobile MMO presentation packed with freedom, immersion, community, and a business model hidden somewhere behind the emergency exit. Palworld originally offered a wonderfully blunt fantasy: capture strange creatures, arm several of them, send others into industrial labor, and call the resulting workplace a home. Now, Pocketpair has officially licensed Garena to develop and publish a separate online spin-off scheduled for 2026. Specifically, Garena has not announced an exact release date. Notably, no PC or console version has been confirmed. Meanwhile, Krafton and PUBG Studios are developing Palworld Mobile, another licensed phone project that reinterprets the original survival game rather than creating this new MMO ecosystem. Consequently, Palworld now has two mobile relatives arriving from different companies, because every successful franchise eventually becomes a family reunion organized by accountants. Officially, Palworld Online promises original stories, connected regions, rare pals, group settlements, automated production, base protection, cooperative bosses, competitive battles, touch controls, and optional one-tap actions. Conceptually, those systems fit the original game surprisingly well. Unfortunately, pricing remains unknown. Likewise, Garena has revealed no gacha system, premium currency, battle pass, subscription, energy mechanic, paid convenience, or microtransaction plan. Importantly, none of those features can honestly be described as confirmed. Nevertheless, players have spent long enough around mobile MMOs to recognize the sound of a cash shop clearing its throat behind the wallpaper. Therefore, today's question is not whether Palworld Online has already been proven guilty. Instead, we need to ask why Garena displayed the entire zoo while leaving the cash register beneath a suspicious sheet. Before we continue, like the video and subscribe, because the YouTube algorithm has the attention span of a concussed chikipi and demands begging. Your support also maintains the emergency alcohol cabinet for every occasion when a publisher says optimized for mobile, with the confidence of a dentist starting a chainsaw. Excellent. Capitalism has provided medicine again. Right, let us return to the newly licensed creature economy. Garena describes Palworld Online as a multiplayer survival adventure where players explore, capture pals, build settlements, automate production, defend their homes, tackle bosses, fight rivals, and progress together. Broadly, the pitch takes the most social parts of Palworld and stretches them across an MMO structure. Shared bases could produce genuine cooperation. Group hunts might give enormous creatures a purpose beyond standing behind a health bar, while 40 phones begin overheating. Competitive modes could even work if victory depends on strategy, breeding, preparation, and skill. However, every promising feature changes character when spending enters the design. Imagine training a perfect team for weeks, then meeting somebody whose greatest tactical achievement involved locating the Platinum Executive Lamball bundle. Suddenly, your carefully planned battle becomes a bank statement with particle effects. Crucially, paid power has not been announced. Furthermore, nobody has confirmed loot boxes, creature pools, stamina limits, construction timers, premium capture rates, or exclusive combat advantages. Honesty matters because suspicion is not evidence, Reddit is not an earnings report, and fear should not wear a fake mustache labeled fact. Still, the concern is understandable. Mobile MMOs rarely operate as charitable institutions maintained by cheerful volunteers who accept berries and exposure. Absent disclosure, every announced feature arrives with an invisible asterisk. Consider the shared settlements. Building with friends sounds excellent until progression determines who contributes, who waits, and who buys shortcuts so everyone else can continue. Picture 4 players gathering resources honestly while a fifth completes an entire fortress by purchasing the founder's industrial exploitation pack. Instantly, teamwork becomes an awkward conversation about disposable income. Then there is PvP, the system most vulnerable to monetized progression. Fair competition requires confidence that stronger pals, better equipment, accelerated upgrades, larger inventories, or additional attempts cannot simply be purchased. Otherwise, the leaderboard measures spending tolerance rather than mastery. Encouragingly, Garena may avoid that trap completely. Indeed, the company could reveal a restrained cosmetic model and make this entire cloud of anxiety look premature. Yet transparency would achieve more than another paragraph about meaningful bonds between humans and electrically charged wildlife. Reveal the price. Explain the store. Show every currency. Clarify whether purchases affect combat. State whether event creatures disappear behind limited windows. Confirm whether convenience items solve inconvenience that designers deliberately created. Tell players what they are downloading before asking them to form an emotional attachment to a penguin carrying a rocket launcher. Next, we reach the optional one-tap controls. According to Garena, these actions will assist with base planning, construction, relocation, and PAL deployment without sacrificing depth or flexibility. Accessibility deserves credit. Touchscreens need interfaces designed for fingers rather than desktop controls crushed beneath two sweaty thumbs. Nonetheless, simplified management raises an awkward question. How much friction can disappear before a survival game becomes a collection of approval buttons? Inventory choices, base layouts, worker assignments, crafting logistics, defense planning, and manual mistakes create much of Palworld's identity. Compress those systems too aggressively and players may stop managing a settlement and start supervising notifications from one. Typically, mobile streamlining begins by removing irritating inputs. Later, travel becomes automatic. Eventually, routine decisions vanish. Finally, the game congratulates you for logging in, completes several chores on your behalf, and offers a discounted bundle celebrating your courage. To be fair, autoplay has not been announced. Nobody should claim otherwise. Rather, the genuine concern is whether a complicated sandbox can survive short sessions, varied hardware, touch controls, and a broader audience. Terry Zhao, Garena's president, says the goal is to preserve Palworld's depth, immersion, and freedom while optimizing the experience for mobile play. Fine. Corporate promises are free, which may explain why publishers distribute them with such enthusiasm. Actual freedom will depend on what happens when progression meets the store. Can players freely explore, or will attempts become restricted? Will rare pals reward persistence, or premium odds? Does construction encourage planning, or waiting? Might cooperative progression unite friends, or pressure them to spend so nobody falls behind? Again, those are questions rather than accusations. Takuro Mizobe, Pocketpair's chief executive, points toward Garena's experience with global publishing, localization, and live operations. Complicating matters is the separate Krafton project. Krafton licensed Palworld for mobile, with PUBG Studios developing an adaptation intended to reinterpret the original experience for phones. By contrast, Garena presents Palworld Online as a distinct shared world MMO with original narrative material, social settlements, cooperative encounters, and competitive systems. Thus, consumers now have two official mobile Palworld games moving through development under different companies. One aims to translate the main survival formula. Another plans to build a persistent online ecosystem. Presumably, the next spin-off will be Palworld Finance, where players capture interest rates and breed unsecured debt. Community reaction has already followed the expected pattern. Several Reddit users immediately predicted aggressive microtransactions, gacha mechanics, or pay-to-win progression. Others argued that licensing the project makes business sense for Pocketpair and could provide money without burdening its main development team. Some mobile players welcomed the idea, while PC-focused fans responded with the enthusiasm normally reserved for a wet sock inside a shoe. Clearly, the response is mixed rather than universally hostile. Accordingly, monetization anxiety dominates much of the discussion because the announcement gave players no concrete alternative to speculate about. Here, the MMO concept deserves reluctant praise. Mechanically, Palworld already revolves around exploration, collecting, construction, automation, combat, and playing with friends. Sadly, a strong concept can become a better monetization machine precisely because people want to play it. Bad games rarely inspire fear of predatory spending because nobody stays long enough to discover the fourth currency. Enjoyable games provide attachment, routine, competition, identity, and social pressure, which are exactly the ingredients aggressive stores know how to exploit. Hence, technical competence does not settle the argument. Visual charm cannot answer whether progression is fair. Seamless worlds cannot prove that PvP respects time. Convenient controls cannot reveal whether the inconvenience was manufactured first. Ultimately, Palworld Online has not earned condemnation, but it has not earned trust either. Facts support cautious interest, rather than a guilty verdict. Development and publishing belong to Garena under an official license from Pocketpair. Platforms currently announced are iOS and Android. Release remains scheduled for 2026 without an exact date. Features include an interconnected world, creature collecting, original stories, settlements, crafting, automated production, settlement defense, bosses, PvP, group progression, touch controls, and optional one-tap management. Pricing remains undisclosed. Gacha remains unconfirmed, microtransactions remain unrevealed, battle passes remain unannounced, premium currencies remain unknown, PC and console versions remain absent from the reveal. Everything beyond those points is speculation. Understandably, speculation flourishes when a company leaves a suspiciously wallet-shaped hole in its presentation. Audiences did not invent this distrust for entertainment. Publishers spent years teaching customers that free choice can mean choosing between grinding, waiting, or paying. Studios normalized shops inside full-price releases, premium passes inside unfinished products, and artificial urgency inside supposedly permanent worlds. Predictably, monetization silence now sounds like a strange noise downstairs at 3 in the morning. Potentially, it is nothing. Conceivably, the house is settling. Worse, a battle pass has climbed through the kitchen window and started measuring the furniture. Disclosure could end the guessing whenever Garena chooses. Pending disclosure, the sensible response is neither blind outrage nor blind excitement. Watch the store. Measure progression speed. Track event pressure. Inspect capture rates. Compare paying and non-paying accounts. Test whether PvP rewards skill or spending. Observe whether one-tap convenience respects time or sells relief from manufactured annoyance. Judge the finished system rather than the reassuring adjectives surrounding it. For now, Palworld Online could become a proper mobile MMO built around mechanics that naturally support shared play. Conversely, it could become a digital pet shop where every creature arrives with a payment plan, seasonal costume, and tiny red notification dot. Neither future is confirmed. Only one fact defines the controversy. Garena showed the world PALs, settlements, bosses, controls, and social systems, but not the business model. Plainly, that omission does not prove a cash grab. It merely explains why players heard licensed mobile MMORPG and instinctively placed their wallets into protective custody. Modern gaming has reached a beautiful stage where the audience's first survival mechanic begins before installation. Anyway, that is all from this particular drinking establishment. Please leave before somebody announces Palworld Premium Plus.